Good morning, and good morning, everybody. This is Barbara J. Beckley, and you have just signed up, had just tuned in, had just come to this amazing, wonderful show to meet some wonderful, amazing coaches, incredible mentors, educators, authors, and the list goes on. And the list goes on. I always get I have a lot of different shows on my network, but I have to say, and I'm going to tell on myself right now, this show I love the most. This show I love the most because I get to bring in some kings and some queens. Yes, they are royalty. They're in the house, coaches that are helping other people. And I wanted to create this platform because I said to myself, I feel like they don't get all the love and all the support sometime in giving that visibility out there as they should. I mean, think about it. Coaches, they help guide you to get to where you want to go in your goals and your objectives. Why not celebrate them? Really? I mean, I have 3 coaches, and I know sometimes I can be, okay, let's just put it like this. I could be a little difficult, but they still hang in there with me because they believe. See, they see more than what you see sometimes, or what your own abilities and your potentials are. And that's what makes them so special too, because they have that, I'm not going to get all magical or anything because I'm not like that, but I'm just going to use an analogy about the crystal ball thing. See, they got that little crystal ball. It's called a coach's crystal ball. And they get to see where your vision is, where you're going to be, where sometimes you stumble back and say, I don't know, maybe I'm not ready. I don't have certain tools. I don't have the education. And they're the ones that say, well, wait, no. You have skills, you have experience. I mean, they coach you and they direct you in the right direction so you can get to where you want to go. And then guess what? When they help you out, helping you to get to where you're not, then you get to help others And that's what makes it so special, is that the coaches are in your lives, not to help just you, but for you so you can help others. So let's give them some credit. Let's give them a hand, let's give them a stand ovation right now, and make sure that if you do have a coach, and you should have a coach, I'm just saying, everybody should have a coach. Coach has a coach. So just give them some love. Just tell them thank you. Just tell them, I'm thanking you for being in my world and helping move my world to the next level. Okay. So with that said, I want to bring on, because I want to give the love to both of them, because timing is of the essence, and I want to make sure that they get their just due. That's why they're on the Coaches Lounge with me. We're going to have two wonderful queens. The first one, I'm really excited about Mrs. Rogers, because I had her on other platforms. She's been on other platforms with me, and I kept telling her, I said, you need to come on the Coaches Lounge, and I just want you to shine, because you have so much to give. I mean, this lady, I'm telling you, she helps. And I think, I was thinking the other day, I said, I think I need to sign up under her program too, where she's really helping, especially women, break that cycle of unhealthy and toxic relationships. And did any of you know somebody, or you've been in a relationship that's been kind of toxic? And then you continue on, and maybe you don't even think in your mind that it's really toxic. It's like, oh, I'll deal with it. They'll change. That's that word that I hate to hear. They'll change when they're with me, or I'll change them to. No, it don't work that way. No. It don't work that way. Either you need to just take a step back, say, okay, is this for me? Do I love myself? And maybe you need to say, I need to leave, or some guidance or something. And this lady does that. She's going to be talking about some 3 key points that we're going to talk about: unbreaking the cycle, of attracting unhealthy, toxic relationships. See, sometimes we attract them. And then bringing awareness and support to hold that space to be just you, to understand that you need to release. You need that release. And then the third step she's going to talk about a little bit is inner healing and heart healing. I love how she says heart healing, because we all need that heart healing. We need to do some spiritual guidance, I'm just saying right there, in our hearts when it comes to relationships, especially when you've been in some bad relationships. And believe me, she's going to be talking to me and a lot of other people, because I know I have been some. And it's really, you got to love yourself. And I love how she helps women to get to that point in their life that they're special, they're awesome, they're amazing. So I'm not going to keep talking, because we're not getting a chance to talk to her, right? So I'm going to bring in this wonderful lady. She's also not just a coach, she's a speaker, she's an author. She basically is the triple threat. And I don't bring on queens just to say, voila, here she is on the screen. No, we do it in style. So after this one little video, we will be coming to meet Mrs. Rogers. Yes.
Well, hello there, girlie. Hey, queen.
I feel like I've been knowing you for a while, lady. You just my queen of queens. I love seeing you. I love seeing what you're doing. I love just wonderful things that you're doing in people's lives. So thank you, lady. Thank you.
Oh, it's so good to see you. Thank you for having me. I always love spending time with you. Okay. This is like our 3rd or 4th encounter. Okay. Yes, girl. Lots of hearts. Okay.
See, there's a reason for it. See, usually when you encounter with somebody more than 1 or 2, 3 times, you say, maybe something's supposed to be happening. I'm supposed to be doing something with this person, or maybe we need to collaborate somewhere. So we probably need to talk after that.
Yeah, let's talk, girl. Let's talk. Off the camera.
Well, before you even start, first, thank you. I always have to thank you, because you're taking your time out to come on the show and talk about your genius. And then you look fabulous. Look at you just popping on the screen. Look at you.
Playa del Carmen good for me, girl. Okay. Okay, and you looking good too. You know, us queens got to represent. It's early in the morning
I
for
know.
me. Okay,
Oh
so
yeah,
yeah,
because you
we gotta represent.
yeah, because what time it is where you are? Because I know you're out of the country, right?
Yeah, but it's 9 o'clock. I'm on Eastern time.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that's
Mm-hmm.
not too bad. I know some people have Pacific and they come to me and they're like, "It's 6:30." I was like, "Oh." I said, "Well, thank you for
Yeah,
coming."
9 o'clock is not too bad,
Not too bad.
but yeah, we gonna let our light shine because
Well,
I
yours
can
is.
see your light shining over there too, girl. So let's let our light shine together.
Let's do this. Let's do this. And your light is shining all over.
Oh,
So,
thank you.
Queen, I want to start off first by, I always tell people I like to uncover just a little bit behind the scenes of how you got to where you are now. Because, dealing with, other people, especially with women that toxic relationships and dealing with all that, I know that's a lot. That is a lot because you have to deal with, getting them through and getting dig deep, I always say. But what made you dig deep to the point where you wanted to start this and help women like that?
The biggest thing is I am a domestic abuse survivor, twice domestic abuse survivor. The first relationship was physical abuse, and then I was in a marriage for 15 years where it was emotional, verbal, and mental abuse.
Mm.
What's so funny about that is when I finally left that relationship
Mhm.
and I told people I was abused, they were like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you were in that for 15 years, and he was, like abusing you, like physically, whatever." And I'm like, "No, it wasn't physical abuse," and people just be like, "Oh." So I'm like, you all do know that just because you're not being hit, mental, emotional, and verbal abuse is still abuse. You do
Yes.
know that, right? Like people were upset. It almost like, well, what you leaving for if he didn't hit you? So that just kind of,
I
got
know.
got me going a little bit. Like, okay, something is wrong with that. Um, and then I just kind of went on a journey after that. After I got out of that alive and safe, right? Because you are taking a chance whenever you're leaving a toxic
Yes.
relationship. And I signed up for a course to find out what my life purpose was. Because,
Mm.
I'm like, okay, I'm here. What am I supposed to do? And that's when it showed that I had a pattern of attracting unhealthy and
Mm.
toxic relationships. And so
Wow.
my life purpose is to help women that do the same thing. So the marriage was my light bulb moment.
You know what? First of all, I got to give you and just a hands down woman for realizing and getting away from that relationship so you can shine your light as you're doing now. Because a lot of times
Yes.
people are in those relationships where sometimes they don't get out, and then they stuck there, and then their purpose and everything just is just squashed. And just to let you
Yeah.
know, because I always tell people we're not alone. I've 22
Mm-hmm.
years, 2 years been married in the toxic relationship, and you're right. People talking, I'd rather have somebody maybe hit me more so than do it mentally, because that's more damaging.
It
And I'm
is.
hear that, like you just said, people be like, "Oh, he just said a few words." Or whatever. No, that is damaging to my health, my mental health, my
Yeah.
growth in my life, and everything. Because you take that stuff, even when they're gone, you got to deal with all that garbage that they put in your mind. And people don't seem to understand that that's more detrimental than just somebody you have a scratch or whatever on your body. Not saying
And that is the truth.
but I'm just saying that, like you just said, we have to look at that. Mental health is real. I mean,
It
people should
is.
know more and more. So, I mean, I can get on my soapbox with that. That's why I'm glad you mentioned that. That
Yeah.
is not just a thing to just say, "Oh, okay, well, whatever." You just, no. And so I'm so glad that and then you work. You say, "You know what? Let me see what I need to do. Let me get some help." And a lot of people, again, they feel like, well, no, that's okay. They told me when I was growing up, I don't need to get no counseling, or I don't need to get no workshops and work it out. I just work it out on my own. And I'm like, no, no, don't do that. Love yourself, like you said.
Yeah,
Love
love
yourself.
yourself, love yourself. And that's a really good point because, um, people think, women, because we are so strong, right? We deal with so much, right? And so when we get into an argument with a partner, you're not going to have a relationship where you're not going to get into an argument. There's a such thing as healthy arguing. You know what I'm saying? I know, like, healthy arguing. But the next relationship that I got into after my marriage, I was in that one for 14 years, and I just got out of that one. When I moved here to Playa, but we would have our disagreements. We never argued though,
Mm.
and I didn't know. Like it's a discussion. You're still disagreeing. There's still conflict resolution. There's still problem solving, but we didn't argue. And we will probably have like one big blow up a year, and it will probably last for about 20 minutes, and then we were done. So in a healthy relationship, you can still kind of have that. But when you're in that toxic relationship and they're spewing at you and they're, just coming at you with nasty things and just, insulting you and calling you names and, making you feel dumb and stupid and your self-esteem is low. And, it's just all things that don't uplift you, things that just pull from you and just kind of suck you dry, so to speak.
Yes.
That is abuse.
Yes.
That is verbal abuse. It is not just arguing. It's just not, they are abusing you. And especially if it's something that you shared with them and
Mhm.
like how, I just shared, okay, I'm a twice domestic. They would take that. My ex-husband used to, throw the physical one, in my face all the time. Why I see why he physically abused you, da, 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 da,
Mhm.
in my childhood from my trauma, and he would throw that in my face, and and that's abuse.
Yes.
And it takes a long time. That is a lot of healing. Yeah, my physical abuse relationship, the bruises are gone. Still, I still had to do some healing from that.
Mhm.
But that mental abuse, that verbal abuse, man, it beats you down, and it takes a long time to come back from that.
Yes.
It is hard, and you do need help to come back from that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love what you brought, Queen, when you were saying that breaking the cycle of
Yes.
attracting unhealthy toxic relationships. So that
Hmm.
means you need to, in your mind, you have to look at the. I always say, look at the. Put your boundaries in, and look what makes you go that route. Because I know for
Hmm.
myself, I would have a relationship and that, it wouldn't work out or whatever, going through that, like you said, the cycle of it. And then meet another person, same thing, different person, different name, but same, the old agenda and everything. And then I
Hmm.
asked myself, why do I keep getting these same guys? What is going on with this? And
That's the
then
truth.
somebody told me, is it them or is it you? Maybe you the one that need to look and say, okay, why are you bringing that? Where is your self esteem low? What's
Hmm.
wrong with you? Yeah.
Because we carry so much trauma in us, right? We have a lot of programming, from birth. I mean, just automatic. As soon as we come out, we being programmed.
Mhm.
You have societal conditioning, so that you have to fit in, right? You have to do all the things to fit into society, and
Mhm.
so we have all these identities that we take on, as time goes, right? And so as we're sitting there taking on those identities, and then taking on the trauma too, right? So we're just, going through life and just taking on all kind of things. That's when it's so much that goes on, and then you're creating a cycle, and you're carrying those into those relationships,
Mhm.
and you're not healing. You're just repressing, because you're in survival mode, right?
Yeah.
So when you're in survival mode, you're just going. You don't have time to think about nothing. It's like, I don't have time to think about this. I got to keep going. I got to keep going. So you compartmentalizing all that hurt,
Mm.
all that pain. You just constantly pushing it down. And when you do that, you have to heal from that.
Yes.
You have to bring that up, because otherwise, you have all this in you. You're attracting what you have in you,
Mm.
whether you know it or not. you're attracting it. If you're unhappy, you're attracting things that's going to make you unhappy. You
Mhm.
know, if you're sad, you're going to attract things that's making you sad. If you're walking around with blame, shame, and guilt, you're going to keep attracting that, right? And
Mhm.
if you used to attracting a certain type of relationship, you're going to keep attracting that type of relationship because your body doesn't know what to do otherwise. I used to say the same thing all the time, like, do I have a magnet on my back? Like, why do I keep attracting the same type of men over and over again? Like, what is the problem? You know, like, why am I attracting these men?
Mhm.
Um, but then, you know, that's about, you have to start to rewire
Mhm.
the neuron so that you can stop having that, you know, type of thinking. Girl, I'm trying to
Mhm.
fix this light because it
Yeah.
just looks terrible. I'm sorry.
Oh, they.
But anyway, I'm trying to fix it because it's really bright.
Oh, I said you're
So
glowing.
yeah, I know. I feel like I'm glowing. Okay, it's raining here, so there's like
Oh,
no
it's the
natural
no
light
natural
coming
light.
in. Yeah, so it's raining really bad here. But anyway, so yeah, so you know that's how you have all of this in you. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? And so once you start to heal,
Mhm.
once you start to release all of this
Mhm.
trauma from your
Mhm.
body, you have a different frequency, you have a different vibration. And so you start to attract, you become the one to attract the one. You know, that's my favorite tagline, because you have taken the time to do the work and you notice it immediately. You know, you
Mhm.
just have a different vibe about you, and
Mhm.
then you just start to attract different in your life. And then that's how you start to break the cycle of attracting those toxic and unhealthy relationships.
Yeah. Oh, some go people. I'm just gonna say, audience, are you getting these golden nuggets that this woman is dropping? Please, taking notes. I have my pad. I don't know about anybody else.
Barbara always have her
I
pad,
always
okay?
have my pad. You know me. You know me. I be taking them notes. You forever. I tell people we're forever learning from others, and if you're not, then why are you even, here? I always tell people, I said, long as I live to the day I die, I'm gonna be learning from others, taking notes, and keep on moving, so I can help others.
Yes.
You have helped me in so many ways, talking about what you do for others, that I can even see the signs of people to send to you. I'm like,
Oh,
ooh.
send them on. Come on, let me help you.
I said, you know
I
what? They got
genuinely
a
love
toxic
it.
relationship. They need to go to this queen over here. I said, I'm always looking now. I'm just letting you know. But
Thank
you
you.
got to
I
help each other
appreciate
out.
it.
Yeah, because we got to help each other out. And
Yes.
that's why I bring the coaches on, because I want them, first of all, to get to know you, understand what you do for others. And then if they need it, reach out. There's no more excuses like, well, I don't really know her. I don't know what she really does. Well, you're seeing her personality. You see what she's talking about. She knows what she's talking about. You
I
know.
know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm talking about.
She knows she's talking about. And she has the experience and the credibility. So why not? Why not reach out? And, I was going to say, Queen, the other thing that I love what you put in there, you're talking about heart healing, your inner healing, your heart healing to free.
Yes.
Explain a little bit about that, because I love how you say that. That's so
Um,
important.
so with the heart healing, when you go through so much trauma, you start to disconnect from your heart because
Mm.
that's your way of protecting yourself, right? I worked with an energy healer, and she knew I had Fort Knox around my heart, right? Because I was just, I mean, I still wanted to love, I still wanted to be in love, but it was very limited, because I was so closed off to keep myself from being hurt.
Yeah.
So now, that I have been on my healing journey, my my message is I am going to not only get you to the point where we heal your heart so that you can love again, but we're also healing your heart so that you can fall in love with you.
So important. So
Not
important.
just loving yourself, but to fall in love with yourself. Because when you are in love with yourself, when you are loving yourself, the things that you attract to you are limitless. It's just so much abundance and goodness and joy and bliss and happiness. Our natural state and what we're supposed to be in. That's our natural state, right?
Yes.
So my message, I'm always telling people, Your heart is more than an organ. It's not just here to help your body stay alive, okay? You have to nurture your heart. You have to love your heart. You have to check in with your heart. How are you doing today? What can I do for you? How can I love you today? What can I give you today? How are you feeling? Are you sad? Are you happy? Our heart is a part of our body.
Mm,
And it's not just here to help our, to just beat so that we can walk around. And
mm,
no, we have to nurture our heart. We have to come back home to it. So I help the client as I'm healing them and giving them the inner healing. I help them to heal their heart so they can come back home to their
mm.
heart too. So many people don't even know they're disconnected from their heart.
A lot, and some people, like you said, don't even realize it. Like you just said,
Yeah,
Quentin, that you're
yeah,
disconnected. I didn't realize it.
yeah,
I thought I was okay. I really
yeah,
did. I thought I was like,
yeah.
okay, I'm like you just said earlier. We're being strong as a woman. We're doing what we need to do. We're not trying to get there and go that route or whatever, hole we want to
Mhm.
crawl under or whatever. But it's there. It's right there. And then when it comes right in your face, boom, that's when everything starts to just explode. Because like
Mhm.
you said, you're bringing that awareness to yourself. You're like, I do need to get myself. Yeah, I don't really love. I thought I loved myself the way I did.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And I
and
love
that,
what.
and that's it.
Go ahead. Didn't mean to cut you off.
And that's it too. It's about the awareness. Because I take people from denial,
Mhm.
because women are walking around in so much denial. They think that this does not apply to them. And it's so many women that just, they look at my post and be like, oh yeah, that don't apply. I'm good. I don't have to worry about it. I'm good. No, you're not. Okay. But I take them from denial into awareness, into acceptance, so that they can get ready for the healing, right?
Mhm.
So it
Mhm.
is a process, but the awareness is my messages on my platform. I am bringing that awareness because it does scare so many women to think about the fact that it could be them, that they could possibly be a part of the problem, and that yeah, you need help,
Yeah. And I
but
think the
it's
biggest
hard.
thing, and like you just said, Queen, the awareness, the biggest thing I think for all of us is to come to grips with, okay, this might be me. A lot of times you want to say, well, it's because of society, it's because of my past, it's because of
Mhm.
my mother, dad, brother, whoever, it's because of the world, all that. And then sometimes you got to look back and say, okay, all that happened to me. Yeah, I got my stories and I grew up or whatever happened, but I got to go to me. I got to go to
Mhm.
me and talk about, okay, what do I need to dig in? They're all doing their thing out there. What is your inner man need right now? So I love how you said
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yes. The blame game. The blame game is good. That's an easy way, right? Then you don't have to take ownership. You don't have to take accountability.
You can just
Right. Exactly. You can hide and just keep pointing fingers like this is why, it's because of this and this and this and this and this.
yeah.
Um, I mean, the work is hard. I've
Mhm.
done the work. I've done the work too. You
Yes.
know, it is not for the faint at heart. I won't pretend that it's easy. The
Mhm.
work is hard, but you know what? It is well worth it.
Mhm. Mhm. Well, Queen, first of all, I want to just again thank you for coming on the show to giving these golden nuggets. I want to give you at least because I want to take myself down. I want to give you 30 seconds just to like summarize or just say something that you want to say to the audience, and then we'll just make sure they know your contact information when I come back up. Okay.
Yes. I want women to stop suffering in silence. You do not have to do it alone. You do not have to suffer. It is not the way it used to be where you had to keep quiet, you had to hide, you had to, pretend like everything was okay when it was not okay. I want you to know it's okay. You don't have to suffer in silence. You can go from suffering in silence to being fearless and free, you know. Um, just start somewhere. Even if it's talking to one person, just start. You deserve to be happy. You deserve to know what a healthy, loving relationship feels like and looks like. You deserve that. So yeah, that would be my message.
Woo! Lady, fearless and free. I'm telling you, I got the notes. I have the notes.
Yes,
Oh,
fearless and free. Yes,
so
yes. You
please,
do not have
everybody,
to.
be fearless and free, like this queen says. See, look at how fearless and free she is. And
I
she did the
am.
work. She did the work.
Yes.
Look
Oh
what
my gosh. Yes.
did the work. You do the
I did.
work and you get the good outcome. So,
Yeah.
lady, I'm gonna have to, like I said, we're gonna have to talk. I wanna make, I wanna start bringing you back, maybe on a regular basis, to really remind people of, like you said, loving themselves, and don't those attract those relationships. And I think it's something nice to have on a continuous basis. So we'll talk, okay?
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I just love your energy so much, and I just love when you have me on the platform with you, Queen. So thank you again for bringing me back, and just being able to have the conversation, because I'm so passionate about this, and I really do want to help
And
women,
you could
to
tell.
heal. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm very passionate about it.
Well,
So
again,
thank you.
and thank you, Queen, for just helping other people in their lives, and moving forward in their relationships, and knowing to love themselves and knowing how special they are. So, Queen, we'll talk. You have a wonderful weekend, and we'll be
You
right
too.
back
Thank
with
you.
our next guest.
Okay. Bye.
Okie dokie. I just left her email address down there just a little bit longer, so you can make sure that you basically go to this queen. You see what she's talking about. If you are in those type of relationships, if you know somebody in a relationship, like I said before, mental health is real. It is real. And if you don't understand that right now, then your head is in the sand, because look what's going on in the world right now. People are basically just giving up their lives. They're just basically saying, you know what, I'm done. And I feel like each and every one of us in this world has that accountability to each other, to check in and say, no, you're too important to just give up like that. There has to be a way. There has to be a way. We need to do that. So thank you so much, Queen. Like I said, we're gonna talk. I feel like this is something that's needed more and more, to shout out to the crowd. But I don't want to prolong, because we got another queen. We got some royalty in the house still. We got to bring on this other coach. And this lady, you're talking about shining. I always tell people they shine like a diamond. That's my motto and everything. Shine, in the diamond that's in you. And when I seen this lady, and she basically, and I wanted her to be on the show, I said, oh, I'm getting royalty. This lady, she's been everywhere. She is the author. She's a speaker. She is, and one thing I love about it, she deals with people when it comes to sexually abuse. Now, as people heard my story, and I know everybody has their stories, I even have mine, and I have dealt with that. And when I seen what she does for others in that area, and she's like on her, she's just like that lighthouse. I was like, she has come on the show. Yes. And she's helping so many. And people that don't even say, there's a lot of people that don't say that they've been abused. And I'm just going to tell you right now, please, please come out, because that will, just what we said about the mental health, you need to make sure that you're healing in every area for that, because that's strong. That could be a stronghold in your life even after it happens. So with that said, I can't wait for her to come on. But like I said, when I talk about royalty, I just don't bring them on the screen. We have to make sure I do it right, because I'll be upset at myself. That's bad on Barbara. So we'll be right back soon as we have this short video. give you a virtual hug if I could. Wow.
Oh, hug
Yes.
away. Good morning. How are you?
Good. I'm wonderful, Queen Marie. I mean, I'm in heaven. I have two queens on my show today. It's just, yes, the world is good. The
Thank
world
you.
is.
You're always so vibrant.
Oh, thank you, thank you. And then you like everybody's glowing today. What is it? I'm like, it must be in the atmosphere. You just like shining like. Well, you know what? It's your inner shine, and then I have to say that it's your inner shine because when you help others, like I said, being a coach, being that mentor, you shine so bright for others. So thank you for
Thank
doing
you.
that for
Thank
others. I
you for the
love
opportunity to
that.
share. Thank you.
Yes, yes. So, Coach, I want to just start just like I started before. It's always a reason why we do what we do. And I want you just a little bit before we get into some tips that you do for others of how you even got to this point of, really wanting to help, especially people that dealt with sexual abuse and assault.
Well, my story is my first time being sexually abused. I was 11, and it
Oh.
was by a family member.
Mm.
And like most victims, we don't share, we just shut it in. So for many, many years, I didn't share for the first time until I was an adult. When I was in high school, the captain of the football team viciously grabbed me and dragged me into an unfinished building, broad daylight, in front of other students. No one came to my assistance. People actually laughed.
Oh my
I
God.
was able to fight him off, escape, and jump through a window of the building. Um, Many other occasions. I remember one time in the public transport. I grew up in Jamaica,
Mhm.
and we travel by public transport. It would be bus, and it's packed. And I what during the drive, I felt something uncomfortable near my buttocks,
Mm.
and I decided to turn around, and there was this man stuffing his penis back into his pants.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and that a lot of people don't consider incidents like that as
Mm.
sexual assault.
Mm.
Some people think, okay, if I wasn't raped, that's not sexual assault.
Mm.
Because so when I shared what happened with the captain of the football team with some people as, oh, nothing happened. That was a crime,
Yes.
and I didn't share it with anybody in authority. And that is what a lot of victims do. They just keep it to themselves.
Yeah.
So that's where my story began. And
Mhm.
I've always wanted to be a registered nurse, like my aunt in Jamaica, Herman. She was my idol. Although my mother was the primary caregiver, my aunt was my idol. I wanted to model her in every way. So when I relocated to the United States, I got the opportunity to become a registered nurse, and that's my journey to
Oh.
where I am.
Well, that's awesome, Coach, that you had like I tell people, we all have our mentors, our people in our lives that, we look upon and say, ooh, I can do that. I want to be that way. So I'm glad that your aunt was in your life to get you to that point, even through all of the other part of your life that you went through. And, I just have to commend you and honor you.
Thank you.
A lot of times when we do get sexually assaulted or just assaulted, period, or whatever thing. Sometimes, we go another route and we say, you know what, maybe this was, I'm nothing. They treated me like nothing, so maybe I should just move on life like nothing.
Yes.
And you took that opportunity and said, no, you were hurting, you went through, but you said, I got to do something about this. I don't want people to be going through what I went through and being able to talk about it. So yes, yes, amazing, amazing. And now I want to ask you because with that, and I know you have some wonderful things that you do within your own coaching for people that deal with that. I'm loving the book that you have up there. We're going to talk a little bit about that. But I want to get into some of the key points that you kind of bring. And one of them I know you said is what does it mean to be shut in?
Yeah.
So that is really powerful. I want to talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. The question is, are you shut in,
Mm.
silently hurting due to unresolved trauma caused by rape, sexual abuse, internalizing, taking on the shame, the guilt, anxiety,
reliving the trauma needlessly. Some victims do not talk, they do not seek help, they just remain shut in. This affects the body mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically when you're shut in. This may last for weeks, months, years, even a lifetime. And I teach people sexual assault didn't just appear on the scene. When you navigate even the pages of the Bible, you read about rape, you read about how women were victimized. Many people don't know that the Bible mentioned rape. One of the stories that I recall is that of Tamar, who was the daughter of David, who was raped by her stepbrother, and how it was kept in the family, which a lot of victims go through. A lot of families just say, oh, let's keep it in the family. We don't want to bring shame. And she remained shut in for a lifetime.
Mm,
You
mm.
don't have to be shut in.
Ooh, so powerful. You're so right, Queen. We need to. That's why I was saying you need to release it, find the help, talk it out, because like you said, that really, it gets in your state of mind to
Yes.
even stop you from getting the help. And then sometimes, like we were talking about attracting, we attract and then it comes back again. We don't want that to happen. So we
Yes.
need to know how to put those boundaries up, learn how to do that, learn the signals around you, as you're talking about. I know you're going to talk about the different types of predators. So yeah, that's so important, so important. Asking that
Yes.
question to yourself.
Yeah. So one of the first thing I do when a client comes to me is identify what happened to me.
Mm,
Because as I said, if it's not rape, then they're not sure what to call it. And then we know like that in every state, the descriptions may be different. The laws and the penalties may be different. So we go through that just to get clarity on what really happened, find out what stage of the journey the client is on. Have they sought any type of coaching or therapy prior to that? Because some don't. I've known victims who have remained silent for 30, 40 years. And
mm,
then you'll have bystanders like, why are they just coming forward? You don't understand how that kind of trauma affects the mind, the whole body, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and physically.
mm,
And you may be walking around and looking nice and fine. I did for years. I had the best smile. I went to work, but nobody knew what was going on inside here or what I did when I was home. I was shut in. It just was not visible.
yes.
There are many where it's visible because they just can't put the next foot forward.
Forward, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And what, the more like you just said, coach, the more the dangerous part is when you don't realize that that you're still dealing with it and not getting the help. I know for myself, when I went through it, because at 23, I was sexually molested, and it was a friend. It wasn't even like you said. And first two things came to my mind was they might not believe me because they were a friend,
Right.
and then second, it was like, well, people are going to look at me in a certain way, all that was coming in my head. So those two things stopped me a little bit from coming out so soon with it. So it took me a little while to just say, okay, yes, this happened to me, because of the two things I was thinking about. Because I was thinking, okay, they might say I brought on myself. Oh, that's a friend. Are you sure that was, yes, I'm sure when somebody takes you and pulls you down, you're saying no, you keep saying no, and I mean the whole, just the whole thing,
Right.
like you said, and then you're going to tell me, nah, Barbara, that was just, really no.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking of, and that's why I didn't come out as quickly as I should have. So
Yes.
I'm so glad, Queen, that you say that are you shut in? That was a shut in part of me.
Yes.
Yeah.
And sometimes the victim is not in a position to say no. If you make it impossible for the victim to say no, whether it be by drug facilitated sexual assault or you're in a position of authority where you threaten their job, That's
Mm,
sexual assault.
that's good. That's good.
That is sexual assault.
That's good.
So, and a lot of victims may think, oh, I didn't really say no, but you complied under duress. That
Mm,
is sexual assault.
mm. That's so important. I'm so
That
glad
is
you're pointing that
sexual
out,
assault.
because some people don't realize. They just think that, okay, there's just one certain way to be sexually assaulted, but there's
Mhm.
so, like you said, Queen, so many other ways that people don't even realize what it is.
Yes. And
Yeah.
the type of predators that are out there, they're not always running around in the street. They prey where they are trusted. In our homes, it may be a parent, a sibling, a family member,
Mhm.
Uncle Tom, and to Sue. It's not just male and male. There are your women pedophiles and rapists, your
Mhm.
friends, spouse. Some people don't believe that you can be raped by your spouse. Yes, it's
Yes.
your body. If you say no, it's no.
Mhm.
And you don't have to give a reason. Well, it's no tonight or whenever.
Yes.
It may be your friend. It
Mhm.
may be your boss, a co-worker.
Yes.
So another thing, a sibling rape,
Mhm.
sibling sexual abuse, that's not talked about a lot,
Mhm.
but it does happen, and parents need to be aware and be vigilant, keep their eyes on the children.
Yeah.
When you realize that the dynamics between the siblings change, why did it change? Because the one who is being victimized may not want to talk.
Mhm.
And sometimes, parents may see certain things and like, no, that couldn't be.
Mhm.
Ask questions, investigate. Don't just turn your back on
In
it.
your back. I'm so glad you brought that up about the siblings, because, so a lot of times parents might, oh, they're just going through their, personality changes. Oh, there's always something like, oh, they're just doing this. And behind closed doors, it might be more deeper than
Yes.
that. And like you said, it might be some kind of, thing going on sexually that you don't want to think about, because it's the last thing, as a
The last thing.
you want to think about your basically your children doing that. I mean, it's the last thing. So they put it to the side, or they put it, no, that's not it. It's something else.
Yeah.
And
And there are times when there are like, normal childhood curiosity. I
mhm,
mean, that's not it. That's when one sibling crosses the line. It may be um, threatening,
mhm,
and then by force.
mhm,
Yes. And then it changes the family dynamics.
it does.
So the child being victimized doesn't want to tell the parent.
Mhm,
And maybe the parent knows, but they don't know what to do.
mhm,
What am I going to do? They don't want to bring shame on the family. What am I going to do with this abuser? It's my child too. So they keep it in. And if that perpetrator doesn't get help, then
mhm.
he brings that into adulthood,
Yeah.
right? That's going to be
Yes.
an adult predator now.
Yes. Yes.
Whereas if that perpetrator had gotten help,
Mhm.
yes. So you have two people who needs help.
Yes, definitely, definitely. And Queen, I love how you
Yes.
said that. Nip it.
So
Oh, I'm sorry.
it's scary. So I help victims in the bud. Yes.
Yes, so true. So
You're
Queen,
getting frozen on my screen. I don't know
yeah,
if it's
you are too. I
me.
think it might be an internet. You know how technology, we love it when it works and we don't love it when it doesn't work. Okay, can you still hear me? Okay, can you hear me?
Right. You're fine now.
I'm fine.
Yes.
Okay, so what I want to make sure to do
It
is
goes in and out.
this in and out. Yeah, I think it's the connection. So what I'm going to do, I want to give you 30 seconds to give some lasting tips for people, and then I'll be back up. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Are you shut in, silently hurting due to unresolved trauma caused by rape or sexual abuse internalizing, taking on the shame, guilt, fear, reliving the trauma needlessly. You don't have to. You matter. You are worthy of healing. You have you are worthy to be free from mental, spiritual, emotional, and physical trauma, to step into your life of abundance, of limitlessness. I am Coach Marie McKenzie. I provide confident, compassionate, confidential coaching through the rape kit process of each state in the USA to help victims overcome the thought of being traumatized the second time, to position them as powerful self advocates instead of becoming emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and physically shut in. You don't have to.
Woo! Powerful nuggets. Can you hear me okay, lady?
Yes, I can hear you.
Good. I know that connection. I said, no, that connection's not going to mess us up today. Wow.
Not today, Satan, not today.
Thank you in the name of Jesus.
Yes, amen.
Everybody has their
Thank
beliefs,
you.
but I have. But we have. But first of all, Coach Queen, thank you
Yeah.
so much for sharing your story for one, and for making people aware of not being shut in. It's not good to be shut in. I'm so glad that was the pivot point of everything
Yes.
that, like you said. Now I know you have now. Is your book new or has it been out? Because I know you're a bestseller for your book, right? Are You Shut In?
I don't have a book entitled Are You Shutting? My coaching program is Are You Shutting?
Oh, okay.
My
Okay.
my memoir, Things That Keep Me Up at Night, in which I share my journey from childhood sexual abuse to triumph. That's been out for over a year.
Ooh,
It won an award from the Florida's Authors and Publishers Association in their education category. Yes. And in December last year, I was a co-author in Are You Lit anthology, Leaders Intentionally Trailblazing, where I featured my coaching program, and that also was the #1 bestseller.
that's what I'm
Yes,
talking about. You're on
excellent.
fire, fire, fire,
Yes,
fire to bring that, like I said, that inner gift that you have for people and helping them. You are just so much of a good leader when it's helping them through this. There's so many people out there. Now, real quickly before we sign off, there was one thing I would like for you to share is the sexual assault statistics. Because I really want people to know how deep this is.
1 in every 6 women reports being sexually assaulted in her lifetime. 1 in every 10 children report being sexually assaulted in their lifetime.
Wow.
Every 68 seconds, someone in the United States is sexually assaulted. And every 9 minutes, that victim is a child. Every 9 minutes, that victim is a child.
Oh my God.
Yes, that's staggering.
Woo. You just felt my whole heart just went down,
Yes.
especially for
I'm
the
very
children.
passionate about advocating for victims of sexual assault. I didn't open my mouth for many years when I experienced it, and now I will not shut up.
Never shut up.
No,
No.
no, I will not shut up.
You are the lighthouse for this. No, your light shines among everybody because people need to know don't shut yourself in because of this. OMG, I'm just thinking about, like you said, the children.
Yes,
9 minutes. Wow. See, so people see this is an awareness. This is not, I mean, the coaches lounge is just to kind of tell you and let the coaches tell you about themselves and what they do for people in life. But it's awareness on some things that we might
yes,
not even realize. That's
yes.
huge, coach.
And
Huge.
it's sad that I know this is not a cushy topic, so a lot of people like to pretend it doesn't happen. But there are adults who are aware of children who are being victimized. and turn their cheeks the other way. Protect their friend
Or family.
or family or their pastor.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
because pedophiles are where there can be trusted. And I don't want you to say, I'm not going to church because that pastor did this or that pastor did this. The church didn't do it to you. God didn't do it to you. You don't say, I'm not going back to school because I was raped there, or I'm not going back to work because my boss raped me. So remember, the devil goes to church. So don't take yourself away from God because someone in the congregation did something are harmful to you. God is not a man. You cannot judge him by the standards of men. So
Ooh, I'm glad that's a really good point. Thank you so much for bringing that out, because some people will do that or think that. So
yes,
yes, it's the person, not God, not the God, it's that person.
exactly.
So let's deal with that part of it. Yeah. Wow, lady, thank you so much. Yeah, this I know this topic is, but it's needed.
It is
It's
so
needed.
needed.
It's going back to, don't put your head in the sand. Take your head out the sand, because you know how many people this woman right here, this coach, is saving lives. You're saving lives. You're a world changer, lady. Just want to let
Yes.
you know that.
Thank
You're
you.
a world
Yes.
changer. Keep shining your light. Keep shining
Thank
your
you,
light.
Barbara. Thank you so much.
So we need to bring you, but see, I'm loving all these, because I want to bring them back. You see, I don't want to let them go, because I love what they're doing and in the world. But the lady, anytime you need to come back on, if anything that's happening in your world, please just let me know by email so we can get you back on,
Yes,
because I
I
love your story.
appreciate
I love your story.
sharing with your listeners. And if I change one person today, if I reach one person, I'll be happy. You don't have to be shut in.
Yes, you don't have to be shut in. So with that, lady, you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. We will
Thank
see you
you.
soon, and keep shining that light for others, because they need you in their lives. And
Thank you,
everybody
Barbara.
will see you next Friday with two other wonderful coaches. And I, like I always say, you are important. Get a coach if you need it, because love yourself so you can love others. Thank you so
Yes.
much.
Thank you, Barbara. Have a good day.